All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you okay?
Yeah, are you?
Not yet. Um, So I've got Rachel, Michelle, and Kim.
You got Rachel.
Yeah, Michelle seems to be on.
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah, and Kim.
Is Kim here as well?
It's showing that she's on. Yeah.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Is that everyone, Michelle?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks, Amy. You can make a start.
No worries. So I'll record this one again, so that you can send it off. So for Kim and Rachel for just joining. Kim, I know that we've worked together in the past, but I'm Amy and I am responsible for pre and post implementation training to our centres. So I'm going to run through the admin part of your learning assistant portfolio at the moment. We've done the assess a bit just previous, which has been recorded and it'll be sent out to you. So some of these things, Michelle, will you'll twig where they are in the assessor side of things a little bit more, but this is predominantly around setting up your system, uploading whichever learners and trainers that you want on there, and kind of making it a little bit your own. I know that you were talking about getting an API bridge.
It's just not going anywhere. There we go. Now you're moving around.
You got it?
No, so that would be Kim, not me.
Kim, what do you want your title to be down as?
Senior IQA.
Okay, and is it Kim.Harris?
Yeah, Kim.Harris, lifetimetraining.co.uk.
Cool. So Kim, you'll just be the person that asks the support team if they've got any questions, if you want anything changing, if you want to confirm any changes are going to be made, then they'll kind of look for you to give the nod, just so it keeps it as to one person. So
Okay.
it'll just take a couple of seconds to kind of load up your site, just because we're just loading into it. But your system license agreement, you can go back and view at any point, which I'll show you shortly. Okay, so this is your home screen from your admin perspective. So the session today, I'm going to go through this home screen bit, and then I'm going to work down the side here to kind of go over what the functionality to be set up. Any questions, like I say, just shout and stop me. It's not a problem. So for this bit in the middle, this is an amber warning just to say that the group enrolment is just turned off for a little bit of maintenance. So this might be like a green box, which is something like CPD events, or we've got a new release or something exciting. Amber is some things just on downtime for some maintenance, and red is if we're going to plan to have the system turned off for a night or a weekend because we've got a huge revamp. Very rare that you'll see it red, but it won't always be there. It will kind of be tucked away a little bit more. So here you've got a like a donut chart visual of how many learners you've got, how many team members are on the system, how many companies you've got in there, and then down the side you've got that as a numerical value as well, with a link to the digital support team at the bottom right hand side. That's your dashboard. Your license agreement is what we've just signed over, so that's where you can go and view that in whenever you like. And then
Fabulous.
Resources here. So resources are on everyone's home screen. You've got YouTube resources, and when you click in there, if there's anything you forget to do, or I go through this today and you go, actually I can't remember how to load a team member on, you've got these little videos that you can watch, so you can go back and refresh if you don't want to watch this full recording again. So you've got them little bite-sized chunks of training. And then at the top, the most important bit is your avatar, which is this person at the top corner. In here, you've got your preferences, which is how you want to see the system to make it a bit like easier on the eye, or bigger writing, or if you don't like donut charts and you want them as bar charts. Kim, when you get access to this system, if you can just change that email address to yours and choose if you want it per message or daily, it's just so that we've got your right email address in there. And then you can change the password as well when you're back in this bit.
Yeah.
Anyone got any questions on the home screen navigation? No?
Nope.
Oh, I'm taking silence as a good thing. So I'm going to go down the side here. So you guys won't have packages. That was like old English frameworks when they used to pack together NVQ, TechCert, functional skills into one giant package. You guys will have courses. So now the courses that you've asked to be built onto Learning Assistant should show in here in a second. Now this bit is in Flash Player, so you just need to disable that block on your browser, which is fairly straightforward to do. Flash Player will be out as of the summer, because obviously it's been turned off in December. Now, Michelle, can you hear okay, yeah? So, is that?
Yeah, got it.
So this is just quite important after what we were talking about yesterday. So what we're doing here is we've got the 3 qualifications here. So level 2, health and social care core, practice, level 2, and the level 3 practice. Is that the ones that you asked for?
Those are the ones, the very ones.
So I sent off that spreadsheet to support with your approved pathways. And so we just need to select the mandatory ones ourselves, just so that they didn't want to do it wrong from their side, but it's nice and straightforward to do. So you can customize your courses.
So, Kim and Rachel and Sue, because we put some pathways together for the clients that we're working for in Wales. I was talking to Amy yesterday, and Amy said that they can actually put that in the system for us, so that the RTs don't have to then go and select which optional units they want. It's just the pathways are pre-populated.
Perfect.
So what I'm going to get you to do is, how many different pathways have you got for example, the level 2 core?
Right. So this is where, Amy, if I explain the qualifications in Wales and how they're different to England, I have 2 pathways at level 2.
Yeah.
And both of them include the core, because the core is compulsory in both.
Yeah.
And then they include mandatory units within the practice, and then optional units, that we've selected for those 2 pathways, as residential and nursing, and domiciliary and community, I think we've called them. So the core is in both level 2 pathways.
Okay, and what do you name them? Residential and?
I think I put them on the spreadsheet. So residential and nursing, I think is the one, and I'm going to go communities and supported living on the other, but I'm guesstimating. The names are on that spreadsheet I gave you.
So what I'll do is I will get them to create an exact replica of these, but rename them at the beginning that says residential, and again that says communities. So, but what you can do is, so I'm going to choose this top one here, and I'm going to press that edit button, because we can do it, but also it might be one thing that you want to have a look at, just because to make sure that it is right. So they can copy this and make an exact replica, and then change the course name to start with.
Right.
You've got.
And I suppose my question, because we've included, because in Wales they have to do, only for level 2, they need to do the core.
Yeah.
And then they have to do the practice as well, because those are 2 qualifications. Is that going to be an issue?
No.
Okay.
Do you want them built as a package, maybe?
Yes, please. That's why I'm thinking, you know, when you said package, not applicable,
So you just
that's now where it becomes applicable.
maybe build it like the old English MVQs.
Yeah. Yeah. So as if you had a tech cert and a diploma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same concept
Right.
in Wales. Is you'd have a package with core, because core's a brand new product in Wales.
Yeah.
We might get 18 months to 2 years down the line where we sign people up that have already got the core.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll have them just signed up to the practice one, not the core, but we're not going to get any of those for a very long time.
Okay, so what I'll do is we can leave the courses on as they are, and I'll ask support to create packages. I'll touch base with them after, because that might work better, like you said, for you guys. So
Yeah.
not care specific. So
and that would only apply to level 2. The level 3 would be just the practice. So that would just be courses at Pathways.
yeah, which is on there now, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, which is on there. So we just need, and again, there's only 2 of those.
Fab. Okay, great. So I'll pick that up with support once I come off the call today. But
Cool.
I'll show you how you can customize a little bit of this now. With anything that you might want to upload. Really good excuse for a standardization session. Some of this, a lot of my centres will kind of build their qualification based around that. So within here, you've got your properties, which is what we pre-populate based on the qualification. And then here, along that tab, you've got documents. So that would be documents that are high level related to the qualification. And
So the qualification qual
handbook.
specification. Yeah, handbook. Yeah.
Yeah, skill scan, anything like that that might want to be in here. So it's high level, not unit specific. But when I did the assessor training, Michelle, how I had the assessment guidance in the top corner.
Yeah.
That's it. So you can upload a document as either learner guidance or assessment guidance. So if you have it as learner guidance, it means that the learner and the tutor, the RT, can have a look at that and see it. If you upload it as assessment guidance, then only the RTs can see it, and it's blocked out from the learners. So you've got that little bit of restriction. So you might have, I don't know, let's pick out something like a workbook. That might go as learner guidance, so both can see it. And then you might have like a template answer guide that you put as assessment guidance, so only the RTs can see that.
So when you say things like workbooks, we could upload, say there's 10.
Yeah.
You could upload all 10 of them to here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fine. Okay, so anything that's learner facing. And then, but things like the skill scans,
yeah,
they could be uploaded into here as assessment guidance.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I don't know what other Welsh documentation, Kim, you'd want in there, but we can take that offline and make a list of stuff.
Yeah, it might be some of the core kind of unit paperwork that we have to put in from a Welsh point of view, but we can take that offline.
Brilliant.
And then along that tab as well, you've also got Course Builder. And this is where all of the tasks or units, as in whatever context they are, will show down here. And you can see them all with the translation in there as well. And you can go in and customize these a little bit more as well. So you can add in your own units and new tasks if you want. So if you want an induction unit in there, I'm not familiar, but back when I was assessing, which was quite a while ago now, it feels, when we used to have to upload like CV, job description, all of those bits. Some centres are creating their own individual unit to hold all of that information. So you can customize this as much as you want.
Cool.
And then as well, everything that we've built in here. So I'll take the top one. You can go in to edit again, so you can dig down even further into here. And this is where you could put in documents that are related to that particular assessment or task. So anything that is related specifically to here, if you upload it at this point, then when the learner goes into their portfolio, clicks on this internal assessment, they'll be able to see all of the relevant documentation, resources and things that they may need. to be included in there. So it's entirely up to you how much you want to load into this. If the My Life app that you were talking about, if that kind of has this stuff in already, then absolutely don't do it in here because it's 2 places.
Yeah, we won't be using My Life just because we can't change it to Welsh, so it'll all be in here.
Okay, so yeah, you can put in internal assessment, you can upload the document and all the resources in here. So when the learner goes in, when we were doing the learner journey, they've got a resources section in their homepage to see everything. Okay.
Cool.
So that's just kind of, like I say, there is a video on that home screen around the course manager. It can be really high level or you can dig right down into it. So it's entirely up to you. I'll have a word of packages and I'll come back to you on that, Michelle, and let you know how long it's going to take them to populate.
Okay, thank you.
And then once you've done the courses, the next thing is to do your people. So you've got companies, team members and learners, which I'm going to go into next. So companies, I'm going to show you how to set up your employers for the learners. The first one you want to do is yourself. So I will put in you to start with, and I'll leave the password as password because this is just to allocate your assessors to or your team members as a whole. But your employers that you're working with, you would put their details in there as much as you want, but that's the only mandatory, and press save. And then their managers within the company that is going to be maybe looking at the reviews and doing all of that. When you click into there, you've now got expert witness in that top corner. And you can click in there, create an expert witness. So this would be manager. And so yeah, you can have as many of them. So if you've got learners that have got different managers because they're in different parts of the company, you can have as many of them as you want, but all sitting within that company as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we're going to go into team members to create them. If you have your companies as well, it's really good for reporting because you can report and send automated progress reports off to the employers, which is really handy.
Okay.
So team members, all your kind of usual logins. So you've got assessors, which for you guys would be RTs. You've got your IVs, so IQAs. Work-based and training managers aren't really used. And I don't think you guys would use them so much. You've got EVs, so obviously your external verifiers, registrars and admin. So Kim, you'll have that main system admin login. And
yeah.
then anyone else that you want to have access to this part of the system will be down as a registrar.
Okay.
So you can edit their permissions and give them as much or as little flexibility in what they do. So you can either have, if it was just someone to load on learners, then you could take away everything except for the learner, the candidate manager part of the system. So that means you can't change companies or team members. So you can just pick and choose what you want them to have access to.
Okay.
So in this case, I'm going to create new staff, and I'm going to do, I'm going to give myself a login for now. And then once I've finished all the IQA training, I believe, is it next week? Then feel free to go in and just delete me out of your system. But for now, I'll just create it. So here you can have in the radio button, so the circular ones, you can have one at a time. So trainer, and I want to be an assessor and an IQA, for example. But if you want to have a registrar access as well, so Kim, you would probably be Kim Harris, and that would be your IQA login. And then you might have Kim.registrar and that, or Kim.admin, and that would be your second login for a registrar.
Okay.
You can give an alternative title and create and assign courses. So when you create and assign courses, this is where you're saying, yes, you are approved to deliver this qualification. So I'll move all the way on and press update, and that's it. I'll just run through that once more to set myself up as an IQA as well. Just because the system doesn't like it when you obviously got the same assessor and IQA set up. Okay, there we go. Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Amy, what on the call today? We've got Rachel and Sue, who are kind of our head office guys. They do the reg inserts.
Yeah.
What would they be on here?
Registrar.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
register. Is it Amy? Is it me who's got to set all these people up on here?
You can set up one registrar and then they can do it.
Right. Okay. Right.
Registrar access to it, and you create one registrar, then they can go in and do it.
Yeah, probably be.
Okay, that's right.
I can see Kim, whoever's going to be your care IQA in Wales could be adding in your team members and your likes of.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
So I'm going to come back to settings and reporting in a minute. I'm going to go straight down to adding a learner. So within a learner, there is, like I say, group enrollment is down at the moment, but it'll be ready. They're anticipating for Easter, which I think is about 3 weeks away or so. It's just going under some maintenance at the moment. It's an individual enrollment. How many learners have you got to enroll?
I'm not sure in terms of projected numbers. Probably a full caseload for at least 2 trainers.
What, to go on immediately?
Oh, to go on immediately? No, let's say 20.
Okay, cool. So we normally say for at least your first enrolment, your first sort of handful, do it individually just so you can see the kind of data it's asking for. And so by that time, when you're starting to look at adding on more and more learners, it might be then that the group enrollment's ready. So
could a trainer enroll their own learners?
If you create them as a registrar, then yes, they can. That's what I was saying. If you create them as a registrar and then just give them access to the candidate manager.
Yeah.
It is something that I remember doing at Lifetime, and I've been banging down the door of City and Guilds to get them to do it because it was brilliant. But they still don't understand the benefit of it right now. So I'm going to set up a test learner. So that's what I was talking about earlier, Michelle.
Yeah, so this is our kind of our dummy account, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can have as many of these as you want. All it means is when you put in these, there's test candidate, yes. Company would obviously be their company that you've loaded on. And then password. And then create. So this is just confirming the test candidate. That won't normally be a live learner. Continue with enrollment. And then you'll go enroll on new course. When the package is available, you'll just go enroll on package.
Right. Good.
So enroll on course. I'll just do the core for now. Metrics untick. That's the 20% for the English standards. So you guys don't need to do that. So if you untick it, then it just won't show up on the learner's portfolio for them to start inputting a load of extra stuff. You choose your primary assessor and your primary verifier. Again, if you want their name to be something else, RT or IQA, you can put that in. Expert witness, so that's their manager. So that's saying, yeah, this manager, I want them to have access to see this learner. And then you've got your course start date. Let's do this one for a year. And then submit. That learner is now on and enrolled on this course. Any questions?
Does that automatically register the learner then?
Yours will. I just need to pick up with whoever does the MIS stuff. You guys are going to have something called LA Connect, which When you enroll on your learners, you'll have a PO number, which you'll have to input, which means that will then automatically talk to whoever your MIS system is, which I'm guessing is probably an internal funding system. So it will automatically enroll them on Walled Garden, and it will automatically, you can book exams on here as well if you have exams, and it will certificate through here as well, without the need to go onto Walled Garden, which is a blessing for everyone. Yeah.
Sue, does that help you?
I'm cautiously looking at every aspect at the moment. Yes, but yes, I think effectively, yes, that would. But it's maintaining the control is my worry. So, but that's we'll discuss that offline.
You don't, if you want LA Connect turned on, you absolutely don't have to.
Yeah. I need to understand it a little bit more. This is the first time I've seen it, so I just need to get my head around it. Obviously, with the compliance side of it from myself and Rachel.
Yeah. This creates a bit, all of those bits that I've just, and it says enroll. That is just enrolling them onto Learning Assistant, unless the purchase order number and LA Connect stuff was inputted. It doesn't enroll them into Walled Garden without that. So you can absolutely restrict that, and then download a CSV and upload it. There is an option, but yeah, at the moment this is just for Learning Assistant standalone. It's nothing linked to Walled Garden. Right.
Okay. And when you say CSV file, that's the same as what we normally do for functional skills upload. Same thing. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for that.
So, if that's you guys that look after that kind of thing, then we'll pick up a call next week to kind of discuss how LA Connect works, if you like.
Yep, that's fine.
No worries. So that's your learners. With this one, when you log on, it says learner status. It's automatically active, but if I change that to test learners, then I can click on and you'll see that learner just here. So with the package, what I'm hoping is that when your learner's enrolled, at the moment you've got the two units assessments here. What I don't want you to have to do is what I'm aiming towards is when it comes to unit selection and you then have to select it all here. I'm hoping that the package will just be everything so that you don't have to go in and do that.
Yeah. That's what we'd like, either whether it's the package or the course.
Yeah.
Those whichever ones we've selected and agreed are the only ones that are there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will, and then it will restrict that optional unit bit. So that's what I'm just working on. Unfortunately, because I didn't get it over until yesterday afternoon, I've not managed to pick up a phone call with them.
No worries.
So the other sort of three additional bits, if you like, processes, we've agreed on the call earlier on that I'm just going to send over a video. We're going to assess if that's useful at a later date. Forums is not something necessarily that administrator access needs, but there is a forum set up that the team earlier on quite liked, where you can do that sort of additional stretching, really. So it's not necessarily things that are linked to the qualification, but it's kind of that forum where they can just chat like, oh, I'm struggling with this unit, have you got any advice? Or you might send them a news article and say, what's your thoughts and opinions on this? So it's just that additional communication between people in the system. But you as admin can see it, and you can delete posts that you think are irrelevant or you want to hide. But it's on your site as well. News and events we spoke about briefly. So on the home screen for RTs and learners, you've got news and events where you can, as a registrar or administrator, create like a notification, or it could be anything. So like if I create news, so it could be assistant training on this date. So if you go to webinar with myself, and that is going to be for the, let's say, trainers. If I save that, then it will show on their home screen as like a piece of, like a news article to say this is happening on this date or when it was posted, and you can see that like learners and companies can't see it, but the trainers can, expert witnesses can't, etc. So it might be something that you want to use for anything that's sort of Welsh specific for these qualifications, to kind of keep it out there. EQAs quite like it when people put their standardizations in events because they can log on remotely and have a look at it through that. But it's just an option. You can get it removed off your system, but you might choose to use it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last two bits, you've got reporting and settings. So reporting, if you're going to pull reports off here, they're all set up in exactly the same way. When you've got active learners, you'll have a dashboard here, and the top donut chart will tell you how many learners you've got inactive, active, and completed. The second donut chart will tell you how long it is taking RTs to feedback and make an assessment decision on tasks submitted by the learners. So you can see how long it's taken them to give that feedback. And then you've got a string of reports here. So you've got learner reports, trainer reports, which is things like when the RTs last logged on, when they last made contact with their learners, and you know how long they spend in the system. Same for EQAs, so you can see who they looked at and the tasks that they went into. And registration reports, if you did your registration in here, then you can pull that off, but that might be in your own internal system as well. So I'll show you just how to generate one of these, candidate progress report, for example. I'll click into create and you can give it a name. And say that. You can choose what you want to report on, so loads here, so I might do name, who their assessor is, anticipated end date and start date. I might want to do their progress. You can do RAG rating on here, and then filter. You can filter that. So at the moment, visual registrar, this is giving you all information for everyone on the system. You can add in a filter and say, actually, I just want it for this particular regional trainer, or I just want it for this particular employer. And then you can schedule it to run for every month. If it was for a trainer, you might do every week on a Monday morning. You want them to have an email of their case code. So they can filter it and have a look at what they need to do, which they might be able to look at, you know, if they've seen the learner in time, who they've got behind, who they need to sort of prioritise their visits, who's coming up to completion. So you might send that out. You also might do it for a particular employer and do a monthly report on their progress on like the 1st of every month, and email it as a PDF. So they've just got the data around their learners in their company, and then you don't have to generate reports. It just automatically emails over to them whenever they're ready. Any questions on reporting?
No, I think that all makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
So the last bit is your settings. So your homepage text that I showed you at the start, which is this bit here, you can customize that per user. So for the learners, they've got this, so you might change that to welcome to Lifetime's Welsh ePortfolio, etc. You could put in a link to a hyperlink to websites or intranets or whatever it might be in there, so they've got direct access to it. BKSB, if you still use that, then you could put your direct link into there, so that all of your learners can see that when they first log in. You've got a learner declaration. We've just got something really basic here because it's not always used for qualifications. but you can copy and paste your learner declaration into this, so they sign it within the system when they log on. And you can change that for learners, for trainers, so you could like put on your intranet links in here. They also have assessor declarations in here, and so on and so forth with your different users. Your resource library, again, it might be something that you'll use. This is any resources. So we've obviously discussed them at a task level, and we've discussed them at a high level qualification level. Your resource library is things that are high level for the company. So it might be your policies and procedures, safeguarding, prevent, then really, it doesn't matter who you are and what qualification you're doing, you will still want to see those resources. That's the kind of stuff that goes in resource library. So what you'll do is you'll upload a resource. So I'll put, I'll just upload anything because I'll delete it after. And then once you've uploaded everything in there, doesn't matter who it's for, pop it all in, and then in the user groups you'll select who you want to see that. So as a learner, yes, I want you to see the lifetime handbook. So in there I tick the box and press save. So you can restrict out of those resources who sees what across the board. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense to me.
And that goes on your homepage where them YouTube resources were. They all sit in there. So I'll just delete that, otherwise you'll get my face appear when you log in. Okay. And then the last bit, which is quite important for Welsh delivery, is obviously digital reviews. Now you can build digital review forms into the system, so it's embedded in here. So Michelle, you know when I did the assessor training, and obviously those of you that watch it back will see contact documents and forms.
Yeah.
So you can create a form in here that can be attached to that contact diary. So when an assessor has to feedback you with the learner, build that review form in here. So you do it. You can build anything. It can be an assessment plan, digital review, teaching and learning, anything like that would go into that diary.
Okay.
Is that something that you guys would be wanting to do?
Are you talking about from a review for an end of a visit?
Yes, like like your 61-day reviews.
Yeah, so the 61-day review is obviously, we have to do it on paper anyway. So it's all done on paper and sent in, because obviously we subcontract out.
Right.
So can it just be uploaded, or would we need to fill out?
Yeah, I mean you can upload it and you can take a picture of it, but how is that working with the Born Digital stuff in Wales?
What digital stuff? The Born Digital stuff?
Born Digital, it's the big Welsh government drive of everything being on.
No, Cambrian who we work with have not gone digital yet, so we currently are doing paper course, as they call it.
Right.
Not digital yet.
Is that Cambrian up in Welshpool?
Yeah.
They use Learning Assistant, and I'm their DSM as well.
So we can take this. We can take this once we know about this a little bit more. We can take this to CTC and see if they'll accept us to launch digitally now using this. So that's something that we'll need to speak with Justin and CTC about. So for the time being, we're paper, but we may be able to convince them that we can be digital.
I had a 2-day meeting with them about, oh God, it was probably about November time, with their view to go into Born Digital and move everything across. So when that happens, if you guys are wanting to kind of communicate all of that, then if you are all working with the same review document, then let me know. We can go face to face or whatever, I can come out and I can build them with you, and then we can copy them from one site to the other, which means that you've both got the same review forms if that's what you were working towards.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we've got to agree with Justin and CTC. So that's something we're obviously have to take away for the moment, but that's really good information to know.
Cool. No worries. Just let me know. I'll park that for now.
Cool, thank you.
Keep in touch with me on where you're at with that. Who else have you got in Wales?
We only work with the one subcontractor, so it's just CTC.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, let me know, because I took over Wales as a DSM probably back in July last year. So I worked with quite a lot of them over in the new change for the qualifications.
Yeah, I mean, it's not saying that we won't ever work with anybody else in the future, but at the moment it's just CTC.
Yeah, no, there's enough change going on at the minute.
Exactly.
And then the last thing then, if that's going to be part, then at the very bottom of the screen, I'll get yours turned on actually. Just writing it down. So I'll get yours turned on, but I just showed this in the previous session. I'll log on to mine because it's on. They'll turn that on for you today. That you have got the ability to make it bilingual, which I'm not sure it matters too much with your admin, but it is there as well.
No, Sue and Rachel, I don't think you want it in Welsh, or you either, Kim, do you?
No, we don't, but we have to have the facility that we could change it to Welsh for our learners.
Yeah, but your login, all of the admin.
Oh, no.
No.
No, thank you. Just because it wouldn't be any use to anybody.
Yeah, it'll get turned on for Lifetime's instance as a whole, but if you ever got asked, at the bottom of every page is a select language, and you can change it to any language in the world, and Welsh being one of them, and it will change everything on the page.
Okay.
Yeah, so anything you like. The developer is from South Africa somewhere, so she keeps changing it, and it drives me nuts. But you can do it to anything, so it's good for ESOL learners as well. At the very bottom of your page, you've got report a problem. So if anything doesn't look right, click on that, because that will send all of the details of what browser you're on, what speed your internet is, what page you're on, so support can check it, and they can say, right, it's LA that's got an issue, it's your internet that's got an issue. There's a bug. They can use that. So it's a really quick way to get a resolution when there's a problem. Submit an idea. If there's anything you want to go into a roadmap to change in the system, then you can let us know what that idea is, and we'll take that into consideration when we're developing the product. Customer support is a direct email to digital support. Everyone except for learners has got this. I'm around doing training and traveling around quite a bit, so sometimes I'm not always available on email or phone immediately. You can absolutely get hold of me, but it might just be a little bit delayed. So if you need something urgently, then I'd say go to customer support, because they're at the desk from 9 till 5 every day.
Yep.
Okay. And that's everything, I believe. Is there any questions from any of you guys, something that you thought would have been covered but isn't, or any questions on what I've gone over?
Do you have like a manual user guide on this, or is it just that?
I'll send you this recording, and you've got YouTube resources. We have a paper manual because the system updates so often. We've got one that's a little bit out of date. It still gives you the basics if you want that. It just Canva's reviewed it so much, it's easier to record the videos rather than do a paper manual.
Yeah, I'm just very paper orientated. I need to touch it and feel it and work my way through it when I'm learning a new system like that.
Yeah, so the guide sent over to you, some of it may look a little bit different, but you've got the videos to support.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. And until we've got learners on there, I can't see what I can't see. Do you know what? You
Yeah.
have to be able to see occasionally, don't you? So
You'll be support's best friend. You'll know what they're having for breakfast, how they like the cup of tea. You can ring them about anything. It can be little, big. I've forgotten where this button is. They're brilliant. They're so good. They're all based up in Glasgow. Yeah, they're lovely.
oh, great.
Anything from anyone?
Nothing question-wise from me. Kim, anything that springs to
No.
mind?
So once I've got the link to the system, it's just me really sitting down and having a look through it, and then getting everybody assigned correctly, assigned to. And then yeah, and then I think after we'll need to sit down and figure out the reporting and everything like that. So yeah, no questions at the moment, but if I've got any, I will holler.
Cool. Yeah, give me a shout, Kim, if you need.
Yeah, I will do.
Brilliant.
No worries. Well, that's
Perfect.
from me, and obviously keep in touch if you need anything. I'm free all day tomorrow, so if you end up doing anything then give me a shout.
Brilliant. Thank you, Amy. And of course, we've got a couple of the things that came from the first webinar we did today.
Yeah.
And of course, just this bit around the packages and courses, I think from here,
Yeah.
in terms of just resolve.
On my to chase list is your logo to get that uploaded.
Yeah.
Turn
They've
off,
had that. Stephen's had that since the first literally email I sent him.
yeah, I'll find out why they may have
Right.
just an error.
Okay.
Processes, I'll send you the video for. Turn off CPD, and then send you a list of the evidence types that you can customize.
Yeah. So we can customize. So I'll send that to Kim and Teresa in terms of customizing the. Yeah, that's fine.
Have it get onto support and see what they can do about the packages for those two for you, and get bilingual turned on for your site,
Brilliant.
and a paper manual as well.
Brilliant. Perfect. If you just send all of that to me and I'll share it out,
Okay.
Amy, with the teams and get the next. And of course, it's not next week. I think it's the week after, the 26th. I've got, I think, for the IQA session.
Have a double check.
Just diary.
Yeah, 26th.
Ah, see, good memory. There you go. Yeah, so that's all booked in. I think Kim, are you and Teresa on that one? Thank you.
Yeah, me, Teresa, and Ryan.
Right, cool. Perfect. Ryan's at IQA for now in Wales. Perfect. Thanks again, Amy.
No worries. Speak to you soon.
Thanks very much.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.